So, have you ever looked at the news and wondered what kind of world will my children grow up in? Or perhaps you have found yourself asking, will our cities become too hot to live in? Or why do I feel anxious every time I hear about another flood, wildfire, or heat wave? So, if these thoughts sound familiar to you, you may be experiencing something called climate anxiety, also known as eco anxiety. Hi, I'm Dr. Harshmeet, a counseling psychologist based in South Delhi, and today we are going to explore what climate anxiety really is, why it's becoming increasingly common, and most importantly, how we can protect our mental health while continuing to care deeply about the world around us. So, one of the biggest myths is that climate anxiety only affects environmental activists or climate scientists. In reality, it often appears much more subtly. So, people tell me I don't know if I want children anymore. Delhi's air quality scares me. Every summer feels worse than the last one. I avoid climate news because it makes me anxious. Or every time I hear about another flood or a heat wave, I feel helpless. Now, climate anxiety is not officially recognized as a mental health disorder in the DSM 5 or ICD 11. Instead, psychologists understand it as a natural emotional response to environmental uncertainty. So, the American Psychological Association describes eco anxiety as a chronic fear of environmental doom. Feeling concerned does not mean something is wrong with you. It often means you're paying attention. It reflects our awareness that the world around us is changing and our emotional response to that uncertainty. Our brains evolved to protect us from threats, but today's threats aren't always immediate. Climate change is different, it's global, it's ongoing, it's uncertain, and many of us feel that our individual actions aren't enough to make a meaningful difference. Psychologically, anxiety tends to increase whenever we experience high perceived threat combined with low perceived control. That's exactly what climate change creates. Many people aren't just anxious, they're grieving. They're grieving disappearing winters, cleaner air, green spaces, biodiversity, and the world they imagine for future generations. Psychologists even have a name for this: ecological grief. Another important concept is solastalgia, which refers to the distress people experience when the place they call home changes around them while they are still living there. Imagine watching your neighborhood become hotter every year, seeing familiar trees disappear, rivers dry up, or wildlife become increasingly scarce. So these changes do not just affect the environment, they affect our emotional sense of home and belonging. So let me share a story that reflects what I am increasingly hearing in therapy. This is a composite case, meaning it combines experiences from several clients while protecting everyone's confidentiality. So, I remember working with a father in his early 40s who came to therapy believing he was simply stressed out because of work. But as we explored his worries, something deeper emerged. He told me that every night after my daughter goes to sleep, I find myself reading articles about heat waves, floods, water shortages, and whatnot. I tell myself I'm just trying to stay informed, but instead of feeling informed, I end up feeling terrified. Yes, terrified. Then he paused and said something I'll never forget. I'm not really scared for myself anymore. I'm scared that my daughter will inherit a world that's hotter, harder, and less safe than the one I grew up in. Now, that sentence captures climate anxiety beautifully. His anxiety was not simply about the environment, it was about love, It was about responsibility. It was about wanting to protect someone he cared so deeply. Now, over time, we realized that constantly consuming alarming news wasn't making him more prepared, it was making him emotionally exhausted. So, rather than trying to control the entire future, we shifted our attention to what was actually within his control. We had no choice. He reduced doom scrolling, began spending weekends planting trees with his daughter, joined a local community environmental group, and started talking with his family about caring for nature instead of fearing it. Good step, right? Interestingly, climate change did not disappear, but his sense of helplessness began to. So, as psychologists, we know anxiety grows when we perceive a significant threat but feel powerless to respond. When people reconnect with purpose, values, and meaningful action, they begin to experience psychological agency. Yes. The belief that my actions still matter. And that's often where hope begins. Now, this experience is not unique. Research is telling us that millions of people around the world are carrying similar fears. One of the largest international studies published in the Lancet Planetary Health surveyed more than 10,000 young people aged between 16 to 25 across 10 countries. Nearly 60% reported feeling very or extremely worried about climate change, and almost 45% said those worries negatively affected their sleep, concentration, relationships, education, and future planning. So many also described feeling sad, anxious, powerless, guilty, and betrayed by the perceived lack of action on climate change. So this isn't simply media hype. Climate anxiety is becoming an important mental health and public health issue, particularly among younger generations. So, these findings remind us that climate change is not only an environmental challenge, it is also a psychological challenge. How can we protect our mental health amidst all this? The answer is not to ignore climate change, nor is it to consume climate news all day. Instead, psychologists encourage balance. Stay informed, but set healthy boundaries around doom scrolling. Ask yourself, am I becoming more informed or am I becoming more overwhelmed? One strategy I often discuss with clients is focusing on your circle of influence rather than your circle of concern. We may not be able to solve a climate change as individuals, but we can reduce waste, conserve more water, support local environmental initiatives, spend time in nature, educate our children, and contribute to our communities. Research consistently shows that taking meaningful action helps reduce feelings of helplessness because it restores a sense of agency. Equally important is making space for joy. So spend time outdoors, connect with loved ones, practice some mindfulness. Protecting your mental health is not separate from protecting the planet. It is part of creating a sustainable future. So hope is not pretending problems do not exist. Hope is believing that our actions still matter even when we cannot control every outcome. If there's one message I would like you to remember, it is this: climate anxiety does not mean you are weak. More often than not, it means you care deeply. You care about your children, you care about your community, you care about future generations, you care about the world you are leaving behind. And as psychologists, our goal is not to help people stop caring, it is to help them care without becoming overwhelmed. Because protecting our mental health and protecting our environment are not competing goals, they are deeply connected. I would like to leave you with two thoughts that I often share with my clients. Climate anxiety is not the opposite of hope. In many ways, it is evidence that hope still exists because we only grieve what we love and we only fight to protect what we still believe is worth saving. And finally, the future is not shaped by people who never feel anxious, it is shaped by people who transform their anxiety into compassion, courage, and meaningful action. Now, if this conversation resonated with you, I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What gives you hope? despite climate change? I want to know this. And if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more evidence based psychology and mental health content. Together, let's continue having conversations that help us build not only healthier minds, but a healthier future. Thank you.